All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to dive deep into the inner world of learners. We're talking about the really complex landscape of emotions and, the incredible diversity that makes every single classroom its own unique ecosystem. So, are you ready to see how these two forces really shape the entire learning experience? Okay, let's get into it. So, just for a second, let's do a little time travel. Think back. Remember that absolute thrill of making a new friend? Or, oof, the sting of being left out? That burning frustration when nobody understood you? Those huge feelings. They're the bedrock of emotional development. And honestly, tapping into that memory is the first step to really understanding the students right in front of us. So, if we really want to understand how to nurture emotional growth, we have to start with a really basic question. What exactly is an emotion? It sounds simple, I know, but the answer is the key to pretty much everything else we're going to talk about.
I love this classic definition because it gets to the heart of something so important. Emotions aren't just these abstract things floating around in our heads. They're a stirred-up state, a full-body physical experience. Think about it. When you feel anxious, your heart races. When you're genuinely happy, your whole posture changes. This means that a student who's slouched in their chair or can't stop fidgeting isn't just misbehaving. A lot of the time, they're actually showing us an emotion made visible.
So, all emotions kind of share these core features. They kick off with how we see the world, they have that internal feeling component, and they physically push us to do something. But here's the really fascinating part, the paradox. While the experience of joy or anger is universal, we all get it. The specific way you feel it and the way I feel it, well, that's completely and totally unique. Okay, so we know what an emotion is. Now let's take a look at how that inner landscape changes as a child grows up. And it is a pretty remarkable journey, from just raw reaction to really sophisticated self-awareness. And this journey really does happen in stages. First, you've got early childhood, where emotions are like flash floods. They're intense, they're frequent, and there is zero filter. A toddler's anger is just absolute. Then, as we move into later childhood, a new skill starts to emerge: control. Kids start to learn the social rules of the road. They express anger over a real injustice, not just a broken toy. And then you get adolescence. The legendary stress and storm, where emotions feel like they're turned up to 11 as teens figure out who they are before finally maturing into a more regulated state. But of course, none of this happens in a bubble. A child's emotional world is constantly being shaped by all these powerful forces: their health, what's going on at home, their friendships, and yeah, the school environment itself. This is so important. A child's emotional state isn't just about what's in their head. It's a reflection of their entire world.
So, what happens when all of these developing, complex, and let's be honest, sometimes chaotic emotions walk through the classroom door every single morning? How does that actually impact learning?
Well, for one thing, it creates stress. And this chart, it's really telling. The single biggest cause of emotional stress for students is failure in school. Now look at how connected all this is. Problems at home or with friends can easily lead to struggles in school, and that then becomes the main source of stress. It can create a really tough cycle. And the contrast here, wow, it could not be more stark. A positive emotional state literally prepares the brain to learn. It motivates us, it helps us connect, it helps us communicate. But a negative state, it does the exact opposite. It's like it builds walls. It hinders our ability to think clearly, and it can lead to complete disengagement. So the big point is this: emotional well-being isn't some fluffy soft skill. It is the absolute prerequisite for any academic success. And this puts teachers in a really powerful position. It all starts with them, with modeling emotional maturity. From there, it's about creating a safe space for expression, working with parents to connect home and school, and, maybe most importantly, truly understanding and acknowledging that every single student walks in with a different story. That last point, acknowledging differences, is so huge. It's actually the perfect bridge to our next big idea. We're going to zoom out now, from the inner world of one kid to the diverse social fabric of the entire classroom. This right here, this is the core principle. Every difference, whether it's background or language or culture, it's not a problem to be solved. It's a resource. It's a strength. It's what makes a classroom a rich, dynamic place to actually learn anything.
And these differences, they're not just one thing. We're talking about social backgrounds that can impact how ready a student is to learn. We're talking about those deep-seated gender stereotypes that can put a ceiling on a child's potential. We see it in the beautiful mix of different languages spoken at home, and in the cultural and religious beliefs that shape a student's whole view of the world. A truly great teacher sees and respects all of it.
Okay, so let's get practical. How do we take all this awareness about emotions, about individual differences, and turn it into action? How do we build a classroom where every single kid really, truly thrives? Let's just take gender as a perfect example. A classroom that's truly egalitarian doesn't just try to avoid stereotypes, it actively works to tear them down. It means using inclusive language, like chairperson instead of chairman, and making a point of giving every student the chance to try all activities, whether that's coding or poetry. It's all about breaking down those old limiting boxes. And that same proactive mindset works for language too. Instead of seeing a student's home language as some kind of barrier, a great teacher sees it as a bridge. They bring language into the daily lessons, they use visuals to make things clear, and they create these small, safe groups where students can express themselves and not worry about being judged. It's about building confidence, not just teaching vocabulary. And this quote just nails it. It perfectly captures the big takeaway here. Understanding the individual differences in your classroom isn't just a nice thing to do. No way. It is the essential first step to designing a curriculum and picking teaching methods that are actually going to work for the real student sitting right there in front of you. So really, it all boils down to this one powerful question. How can we build schools where every single student feels seen, feels heard, and feels valued for who they are? It's all about creating these environments of psychological safety and belonging, because that's the soil where learning can actually grow. It's the central challenge, for sure, but it is also by far the greatest opportunity we have in education today. Thanks for watching.